Hey everybody, I'm Todd and I hope you're having a great week. Today I've got an exciting update from Waves. They've added a new GUI for 3 of their classic plugins. You get Doubler, SuperTap, and ENIGMA. And the updated interfaces are kind of optimized for function, kind of more modern, better user experience, but they preserve the original sound capabilities that a lot of engineers have really liked in these plugins for a long time. So let's dive right in. So I've created a session here. I have Doubler on a guitar track, and I'll just show you before I get into it. When you add Doubler, you're going to have a number of options. You got mono stereo combo, and there's a 2 and a 4. So that'll be the number of voices you can have. So I've just set it up here with the 4 option, and I'll let you hear it, and then I'll add it in just with the basic setting. And so, of course, there's a whole set of presets that you can use here, and beyond that, of course, totally customize it. But the way I like to use this plugin actually is adding it up on a second track. So what I have is 2 identical guitar tracks here, and one I'll have just without Doubler, just as is, and the other with, and then I add it back in. So let's go ahead and check that out. And we'll add bass and drums. Now this plugin's kind of a go-to for thickening voices, spreading a wider kind of sound stage around a mix, mono instruments. You know, you can get different background vocal effects with it, augmenting acoustic guitar. It's also versatile for sound design, so those people are going to really like this. And kind of what's cool is you can reinforce doubling by adding yet another layer of doubling on top of it. So that to me is kind of a great function here. You get 4 independent delays, up to 100 milliseconds, plus you get feedback, pitch modulation, you can pan voices, detune plus or minus 100, drag, drop, gain, pan, and graphic delay, output filtering, high, low shelf. I mean, tons of stuff here. Plus, there's a bunch of presets for those of you that like to get ideas to get started. So, you know, it can be a pretty good option. So now I've got ENIGMA loaded up here on a piano track. And again, the GUI here just allows you to visualize things a little bit easier than the previous version. And one of the things I like here, of course, this one also has a mix control, but I still will set up 2 tracks here, one with and one without, because even with the mix, then I can get that much more blend options. Let's go ahead and have a listen. Now I'll add the second piano track in without the ENIGMA. Now, ENIGMA gives you comb filtering, modulation, filtered feedback, you know, like reverb-like processor. And it gives you time delay effects, so it's all about sonic texture. And you use it on just about anything, like voice, synth, white noise, guitar sounds, you get the idea. You get a wide range of effects. You can have flanging here, rising barber pole type effects. You can do resonant reverbs, make alien voices. It's almost the sky's the limit here. notch filtering with different echo and reflection feedback, the disruptive kind of unconventional effects for sound design. So again, sound designers really like this plugin. Multi-waveform modulation here, and really you can take conventional instruments and make them something completely different, and that's really cool in my opinion. So think of it like adding ear candy, right? And like Doubler, if you want to use presets, there's a ton of them here too. I like to experiment from scratch, but either way, you got a lot of options here to get started. And now I've got SuperTap here loaded up on a synth track, and this is one of the really cool things here. We can really get creative with sound. And once again here, I'll go through a couple of different options, and I'll show you what happens when we blend them back. Okay, so now we'll switch to the original track without SuperTap loaded, and then I'll add it back in. And you can think of SuperTap as a multi-head tape delay. You get those spacey echoes, right? It does the vintage hardware thing, but it's a lot more flexible. Okay, you get 6 independent stereo delay lines. Now that's a lot. I mean, you can get really creative with this, and I think that's what SuperTap is all about. You know, those delay times, you can go up to almost 5,000 milliseconds. You get 6 filter curves for each delay line, so that's kind of a really big deal here. Feedback options, self-oscillating. You can add modulation, kind of delayed chorus effects, right? And it's got rotation-based panning, so that's really nice. It preserves the right and left channel levels, which is really great to have here. 6 times the tap tempo functions, and you can add rhythmic effects, analog self-oscillation, right? So it's kind of a secret weapon delay here, but with a new GUI for a modernized workflow. Now, I could be wrong, but like I said earlier, with VST2 being on the way out, I kind of expect to see a lot of plugin updates coming over the next year. And for me, it's exciting to see new modern plugins, you know, better workflows, but I never forget the timeless sound of some of my favorite go-tos. And so if you're interested in more plugins to bring kind of a modern workflow to your music production, check out one of the videos on the screen. As always, you know I appreciate you joining me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Cheers.